Welcome everybody to a look at the ninth film from the Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe box set. So this is from 1978 and it is Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind. So this is a horror film with some elements of psychological to it, as you probably guessed from the title. Clock's in 84 minutes long, and it's about a psychiatric doctor who is driven insane by plagued by nightmarish visions of Coffin Joe's subterranean world of bizarre horror. So, under analysis, it's discovered that he has a pathological fear that Joe has sexual designs on his beautiful wife. Unable to cure him, the fellow doctors enlist the services of Jose Mujica Marins, the creator of Coffin Joe, in an attempt to convince the patient that Joe does not exist. But all is not how it might first appear. So, although there are elements to this delight, such as the meta element, you know, this is something that would obviously become more prevalent in the 90s with like the sort of the Scream series, but I do like the fact that it's been there. Although apparently there is another Coffin Joe film before this one that isn't included in this box set that also did that element. So yeah, whether or not I'd have liked that element again if I'd have seen that one from before this, I think it's from 1974. I can't remember the title of it, but yeah, there is apparently one that is like that. So maybe it is a bit of another repurposed aspect, but for this one, I did like it. The pacing is also on point, and it has some interesting visuals. This is ultimately let down by being made up of footage that was shot for prior films that didn't get used, with a very basic series of scenes inserted in between to help or attempt to make a coherent plot. Sadly, the repurposed footage, despite some well executed elements, doesn't provide any real coherency. I also struggle to really differentiate between the footage that hadn't been used and the footage that was used in those films, as they pretty much broadly look the same. And due to it being from different films, there is no real consistency in quality. The new footage also, despite it being having a decent conclusion, I really like the kind of twist ending that it had going to it, isn't particularly interesting and is lacking in production value, as it is basically just people talking in rooms. So yeah, it just feels quite lazy, to be honest. A good 50 or so minutes of this film is repurposed footage. And although we have seen worse, or I have seen worse versions of this kind of effort in terms of repurposing footage. You look at the Godzilla series, and they had a film in that called All Monsters Attack, which literally used film footage from prior films, not even footage that had been left on the cutting room floor, and then inserted a basic plot around those reused footage. So this isn't quite as bad as that, because at the end of the day, this is apparently not footage that we've seen before. But at the end of the day, 50 minutes of this is just the same kind of thing we've seen before, with a very basic plot in between. So yeah, unfortunately, because of that, I'm only going to be able to give this 2.5 out of 5. Not the worst in the series by any means, because it is at the end of the day watchable, and there is some elements to it that work. But yeah, at the end of the day, it just felt like a montage for a large portion of it. So yeah, this is the reversible artwork that we have on the art card, which is the original artwork. And there's a disc that we've already looked at with Hellish Flesh. So yeah, again, this is had a 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative. Got original lossless mono audio as well that's been remastered from 35mm prints. And we've got the optional English subtitles. And then we have an archive audio commentary for Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind with Jose Mujica Marins, editor Neil Simar Layout, filmmaker Paulo Duarte, and scholar Carlos Primati. That's in Portuguese with English subtitles. Then we've got Beyond Good and Evil, new video essay by film critic Kat Ellinger. Aesthetics of Garbage, Jose Mujica Marins, A Complicated Icon, a new interview with filmmaker Andrew Levold. The Search for Weng, who did apparently a film called The Search for Weng Weng, examining Marin's place in the marginal cinema movements of the 60s and 70s. And then we've got a theatrical trailer as well, newly scanned from the original 35mm negative as well. So yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of a letdown compared to the prior two films, but it is, like I said, not the worst in the series. Obviously, I have rated another one 2 stars out of 5, which was When the Gods Fall Asleep. So that is an easily worse film than this, but considering we're on a little bit of a roll in terms of decent films, it is a bit of a shame that this has dropped in quality. So yeah, but Hopefully the 10th film, Embodiment of Evil, is a better effort. Now that is one that is outside of the 60s and 70s. This is a film, I think, from 2008. But obviously we also still have the Awakening of the Beast to review, which we couldn't review because a third of the film was only in subtitles and the other two-thirds were not. So we're waiting on the replacement disc from Arrow Video for that film to be reviewed as well. So technically still got two films to go, but I will be reviewing Embodiment of Evil before the Awakening of the Beast arrives, because I think that's not for another week or so, and I don't want to wait that long. So yeah, but nonetheless, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.